All right, so with the pay-per-view UFC 315 coming up this weekend, I just wanted to give a bit of a hot take, and this might not resonate with a lot of people, but I like UFC 315. I'm excited for UFC 315. I think it's a good card. Yeah, there, I said it, okay? Go ahead, crap on me, tell me I'm crazy because I know it's popular to hate on this card, and I know Canada usually doesn't get good pay-per-views. But for a Canada card, this is pretty solid, even though the original lineup was better when we had Joel BSD and when we had Michael Morales versus Gilbert Burns. I know, but I feel like this card it's still holding strong. And I don't know. I just want to tell you why I believe this card is actually better than what people give it credit for. A lot of people are crapping on this card because, oh, Bilal Muhammad's the main event and he's boring and it's popular to hate Bilal. And there's two women's MMA fights on this main card. But let me just break it down for you why this is a good card, okay? So we got the main event, Bilal Muhammad versus Jack Della Maddalena. Okay, Bilal Muhammad has proven everyone that he is better than what people thought. He's one of the best fighters in the world, okay? And he's the champ, whether you love him or hate him, okay? The guy can fight, okay? He's legit and he's a worthy champion. And Bilal's not that boring. His fight with Leon was pretty exciting. He pushed a pace against Edwards, he took the fight to him. And Bilal has an exciting dance partner in Jack Della Maddalena, a knockout artist who's going to bring the fight. They're both going to bring the fight this Saturday. And either Bilal's going to do his thing and, grind him out, wear him out with this pace and wrestling like he always does to his opponents, or JDM is going to lay them hands on Bilal and steal that title. And there's a chance that y'all Bilal haters might get what y'all want and the welterweight division could be saved. But it's not just this fight that I'm looking forward to. I mean, this is easily one of the best fights on the card. But we got Valentina Shevchenko versus Manon Fiorot. Like, this is another really, really good fight. Valentina has a worthy challenge in front of her, and it's Valentina Shevchenko. I know her last fight was boring against Alexa, but are we forgetting her fight before that? The second Alexa fight wasn't boring. Are we going to forget the thrill of the upset when she, I know she lost, but still, the shock value of the first Alexa fight made it exciting. The fact that her fight with Tyler Santos was competitive made that fight exciting. And yeah, she had a boring performance against Murphy, still finished her. She outclassed, destroyed Jessica Andrade. Valentina Shevchenko has finished most of her opponents anyway, so I wouldn't say Valentina is a boring champion. And Manon Fiorot is someone who I could see bringing the fight to Valentina Shevchenko. She's very confident, very aggressive. I don't see what's boring about this fight. Okay. I'm looking forward to seeing Valentina Shevchenko fight, even though I've been coming off as a bit of a hater this week. Again, I'm turning on heel mode to hype up Alexa. It's nothing personal against Shevchenko. Well, it kind of is, but still, I want to see her fight. I want to watch Val fight. I'll always watch her fight. And you should want to watch her fight too. Jose Aldo on the main card, like it doesn't get any better than this, man. Like, come on. How are you not excited? Jose Aldo versus Amin Zahabi should be a scrap. Aldo is rarely in a boring fight apart from the last one in the Marab fight, but usually Aldo's involved in a lot of bangers. And I think this fight should be more exciting than the last one. And Grasso, Alexa Grasso was on this card as well. Grasso, the only boring fight she's been involved in, well, was the one she lost last time to Val, where Val she did what she had to do to win, which was take down Alexa, take the path of least resistance, play it safe, and wrestle her to a boring decision. But usually Alexa Grasso is involved in scraps. Either she goes out there, puts on a boxing clinic on her opponents, or gets crazy submissions, okay? Or ends up in wars. And Natalia Silva is a good dance partner, a great striker, very talented. this should be a great fight, whatever happens, regardless of whatever happens in this fight. Even though I'm Team Alexa, this is a good fight. You cannot deny it. The stakes are high. Former champion Alexa Grasso looking to redeem herself against up-and-coming prospect Natalia Silva. How was that not exciting? Then Benoit Saint-Denis versus Kyle Pribolek. I did a bit of research on this Kyle guy. He's got a lot of finishes. Benoit Saint-Denis, I don't think, has ever won a fight by decision. So it's more than likely someone's going to get finished in this fight. And BSD is usually involved in bangers. I think the Joel fight was more likely to be a banger. There's a chance maybe BSD could be boring because some exciting fighters, when they come off 2 bad losses, they usually play it safe to, redeem themselves, like what happened with Sergey Pavlovich. His last fight was boring. He didn't take risks like he normally does. Maybe that could happen to BSD, but honestly, I doubt it. I think this fight's going to be violent. This whole main card is good. Bilal versus JDM, Valentina versus Manon, Aldo versus Sahabi, Grasso versus Silva, BSD versus Kyle, all on the same main card. You compare this to other Canadian pay-per-views that we've had. Like, hold on, let me just pull up other tabs real quick because I want to show an example of what I'm talking about. Look, UFC 289 was terrible. Okay, that was a terrible Canadian pay-per-view. I hated it. The main event sucked. It was boring and depressing because my girl Aldana got outclassed, but she also gave nothing to show for and froze. Nunes didn't do much either, and she couldn't even finish her. The only good fight on this card was Charles Oliveira versus Beneil Dariush. The rest of this main card sucked, okay? Marc-Andre Barriault versus Eric Anders. I remember that was a boring fight. Ige versus Landwehr was a boring fight from what I remember. I mean, okay, we had Mallet versus Adam Fugit. That was a pretty exciting quick finish for Mike Malott, but this whole card was me sitting through 3 uninteresting fights just to get to the co-main, which was the only fight worth watching. And then the prelims, yeah, they were okay. I mean, yeah, nothing interesting about these prelims on UFC 289. The prelims were kind of ass. I mean, Imavov was on the prelims, but that ended in a no contest. I mean, okay, Miranda Maverick, Jasmine, okay fight. Yeah, this card was terrible. Terrible card. It was only worth just its 2 fights, basically. It felt like a 2-fight card. Charles Oliveira versus Beneil Dariush and Nunes versus Aldana were the only important fights on this main card or on the card and as a whole, and only 1 fight delivered, okay? Now that's what you call a bad Canadian pay-per-view. That's a pay-per-view in Canada you should be complaining about. And then let's talk about UFC 297, okay? This card was shit, okay? Terrible card. The only good fight on here really was the main event. That was the fight I was most excited for. That was the fight most fans were looking forward to, okay? The Underdog Kings, Strickland, who just at the time beat Izzy, Du Plessis at the time, who had just beat Whitaker. Now they face each other, and it was a war. It was a war. Strickland promised he would bleed for you fucking guys, and he did. He actually delivered on his promise, which is rare. But the rest of this card was, again, me waiting through a bunch of uninteresting fights just to get to the fight I'm most looking forward to, which wasn't just the main event. I was actually excited for the co-main, but it was a shit fight. Magny versus Mellout was pretty boring up until Magny got the comeback finish. Chris Curtis versus Marc-Andre Barriault wasn't that good of a fight. Arnold Allen versus Evloev was kind of good, but again, in terms of just quality and name value for this pay-per-view and as well as UFC 289, the quality of both cards were just terrible. And then again, the prelims, not worth it, not that good. Like, come on. Those are the crappy Canadian pay-per-views, okay? But this UFC 315, like, there's not going to be any boring waiting for the fight I'm most looking forward to, or a fight that most people are looking forward to. We have to sit through BSD versus Kyle, which I'm sure is going to deliver. And then after that, we're going to get to Alexa Grasso. If you're not a casual and you respect women's MMA and you know these fighters well and how good both fighters are, and you know this is going to be a striker's delight, and you know that Grasso is a Mexican and Mexican scrap and Natalia scrappy, then you will be excited for this fight. This is the next fight you got to look forward to. Then Jose Aldo, another fight to look forward to. Then it's Valentina Shevchenko versus Manon Fiorot, another fight to look forward to. Then Bilal Muhammad versus JDM, another fight to look forward to. Like, don't you guys get, like, do you guys get what I'm saying here? Like, the comparisons between 315 and then 289, 297. You cannot look at me with a straight face and tell me that 315 is on the same level as 297 or 289. Come on. And the prelims, too. The prelims compared to the prelims of the other Canadian pay-per-views are actually pretty solid. Mike Malott versus Charles Radke. This should be a good fight. I know Mike's last fight was pretty boring, but Charles Radke is a pretty exciting fighter. I mean, both guys have finishing abilities, so it's likely someone will get finished. And then we got Jazz Davicius versus Jessica Andrade. Like, come on. And then, I mean, not, and then I'm not going to move on from this fight because Andrade never in a boring fight. Jazz Davicius always pushing a pace. This fight is most likely going to be a war. I'm excited to watch Jessica fight. Who doesn't want to watch Andrade fight? Iwan Kutelaba always delivers. Navajo Sterling and whoever this guy is should also be a good fight. The prelims are good. The main card is good, okay? And even the Fight Pass prelims aren't too bad. These are some good fights here. So I feel like I'm cooking with my take on UFC 315. I'm excited for this weekend. I cannot wait. Fight night's going to be glorious. I know most of you probably won't agree. You guys probably think I'm crazy for being excited. Sure, this may not be the most stacked pay-per-view of all time. This may not be UFC 300 level, UFC 299 level, maybe not UFC, or definitely not UFC 314 level. I acknowledge that. I know, okay? It's not one of the best pay-per-views we've had this year. UFC 311 was better. I acknowledge that. But I think this pay-per-view is good enough, and I'm looking forward to it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments.